What's up, people? This is Nobby. How y'all doing out there? Hey, been having a lot of discussions, and there seems to be a lot thrown around about bed wenches, and whores. All right, and we are talking in reference to the black community. All right, so I had a point of view, and hopefully this will be bring some clarification to it. All right, now I think that the black community is being destroyed um, because of, we'll start macro and then we'll go to the source. We'll start with the lake and then we'll go to the stream and start at the source of what created the stream, which then goes into the lake, which then goes into the ocean, so to speak. Okay, so let's just say that the ocean or the lake is this, that now we have pimps, simps, whores, and bed wenches, and these are the individuals within the black community that is responsible for the destruction thereof. While everybody makes mistakes, wise people recover from them and do not make mistake intending to stay and remain in that mistake. All right. People that are bent on the destruction because they see any kind of gain to themselves due to selfishness, and they really do not care about the community as a whole. These people fall into what my four categories: the pimps and simps, okay, and the whores and bed wenches. All right, now to the stream. All right, so we started at the ocean and lake. We're going to take it up the stream and get further to the source. All right, when you get to the source of most of our woes, our problems come from the pimps and simps producing children by the whores and bed wenches. All right, so the pimps and simps are producing children by the whores and bed wenches. All right, now I'm gonna make a delineation as we get further into this, and I started here with Ezekiel because I want all the brothers and sisters. I know that the pimps are going to argue, the simps are going to argue, but I'm going to catch hell from the whores and bed wenches, right? But for the brothers and sisters, the real sisters and real brothers, read Ezekiel 23 and read it all the way down. Throughout this video or conversation, I am going to have some other things dotted in, but I encourage everybody to go and read the whole entire chapter of Ezekiel. Okay. A lot of my videos had a lot of stuff coming from Ezekiel, and I mean, when I read it and I look at the plight of and the state of the black community, man. And a sister that I was talking to last night, she had me to some of the goings on based on what her father, thank God for her father, told her. And she enlightened me on some things. I mean, I enlightened her on some things, but she enlightened me on some things, right? And her father was in her life enough to impart some knowledge to her, and she imparted that wisdom to me. All right, So basically, um, little background. So I'm gonna read Ezekiel starting 23:1, and the word of the Lord came again to me saying, and this is the Almighty speaking right now. Okay, son of man, where there are two women, the daughters of one mother. Excuse me, says son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother. Ezekiel 23:3, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt, all right, in captivity, slavery. And they committed whoredoms in their youth, where their breasts pressed, and they bruised the teats of their virginity. All right. So basically, it's saying that while in captivity, slavery, that our sisters were committing whoredom. All right, and they lost their virginity, and we all know the plights of slavery in this country and what it did to the black family. Now, let me say this: the black community and the black family as a whole is in worse condition now than it ever was under slavery and under Jim Crow. Let me say this again. It is known, and it has been researched, and the findings are this, that the black community, as far as families, are in worse condition now than they were under slavery and Jim Crow. So the 60s all the way back to slavery, black families did better under slavery than they are doing now. We're still on the stream. There is a cause to this. So remember, I told you that the lake or river, ocean that the flame stream flows into, that would be the pimps, simps, whores, and bed wenches. Well, as we come into the modern age, all right, and we go move upstream to get further to the source, and I said that as we go upstream, you find that the pimps and simps were producing most of the children from the whores and the bed wenches. All right, and so we're going to define whore biblically. Well, and Ezekiel does that. It also defines bed wenches. Bed wenches are whores, and we're going to define bed wench through the Urban Dictionary. Okay, and we're going to find and then whores will be done by Scripture, and Scripture is going to cover whores and bed wenches. And as you read Ezekiel, it'll come together. I'm only going to read part of it. So here we go. So you go upstream, you got the pimp simps making babies with the whores and bed wenches. All right. These whores and bed wenches produce children. As a matter of fact, what you have is the pimps and simps are producing more children than the men of husband quality. They're producing more children than the men that are taking care of the children that they produce. Meaning that the women are laying with more pimps and simps and having more children by pimps and simps than the women are having that are choosing husbands and or men in a committed relationship, and men that are actually paying child support and taking care of their children. All right. So this is how this goes. There was a guy Ohio. Find you could Google the news report. At last count, he was on going his way to court for child support for 21 children, and who was driving him to court? It was his 15th girlfriend. All right. Um, so he had 20. We have 80 three guys in Tennessee that produce 84 children from I don't know how many women. So between four guys, you have over 100 children produced between four guys from countless amount of women. We also know that black women are fastest growing HIV population and so on and so forth and stuff. We're not going to get into all of this because those facts are out there and other people are doing this. But we want to understand where this is coming from. All right. So, uh, as we look, video that was a whore based on the biblical definition of a whore. I showed her because I did a video on Dr. Omar Johnson. And what this man was trying to do was start a black school, get donations from black people. He got caught up, I guess, at this particular strip club with this particular stripper. Tried to continue a relationship with her. And then she put his stuff out in the public sphere, which started a battle between her and him. But this whore took him down. Now, I fought him on this because he followed Egyptology and not the commandments. He did not recognize her for being the whore that she was. All right? The Bible calls her a whore. Her job is to exploit men for money. And if there ever was a definition for what she do, you will see it in Ezekiel after I get done with this. And what I am defining here is the term bed wench. Alright, bed wench, typically a term applied to females of African descent, but technically can be applied to all non-white women of all colors, i.e. yellow, black, brown, and tan. This is from the Urban Dictionary, people. So you can Google it, Urban Dictionary. Alright. And I continue. Who gives herself to white men of high status sexually in exchange for privilege or privileges, promotion, etc., at the expense of turning her back on the people in her community. The term originated from the female house slave back during African slavery. So this is the definition of a bed wench. Why is this significant? When a bed wench has a child from a white man, that child is white because the father was white. That child is no longer in the black community or part of the black community. Black women by force identify that child with the black community based on white man's rules, i.e. one drop of black blood, but the seed determines the nationality of the child, meaning black man produces black children. Kenyan produce Kenyan, Israelite produce Israelite, and so on and so forth, right? So for all you black women that think that your child is black because you got with a white man, or you got white with a white man so you can have a beautiful black child. You did not have a beautiful black child. You had a white child. All right. For all the people of mixed parenting, if there is no need to be confused as to who you are. If your dad was black, then you're black. If your daddy was white, then you're white. If your daddy was Hispanic, then you're Hispanic. I think that covers all the technical terms that the United States give, or the general terms that the United States give for whatever genealogy, right? So basically, if you're a black woman that got with a black white man, yes, you are a bed wench by definition. A black woman with a white man is a bed wench by definition. Why does this not apply to white women? It doesn't apply to white women because if a white woman gets with a black man, she is coming into his community. I heard one guy say that it's probably the natural thing to do because being white is double recessive. And so white women should want to be add color back into the family matrix. Everybody should be screwing the dark, the blackest man you could get to bring that color back into the diaspora. Okay? And this is because white people come from black people. So white women, if they have a child, will be coming back to their natural state. Whereas black women, if they have a child, go away from their natural state, or take that child away from its natural state. White women, when they have a child, bring that child back into its natural state, right? So having said that, also the white women generally, if she gets with a black man, becomes a part of the black community. Black women, when she gets with a white man, she becomes a part of the white community. The man you're with is who your protector is going to be. All right. So basically, black women, when everybody is going to gravitate back to their own race, you will be out there on your own. It's because you left your own. And you got to figure, will that man protect you when he's going to be with his own? Remember, you are still a bed wench to him. He's with you, and he has that privilege to be with any woman he decides to be with in the United States. And he don't care about sullying the seed or whatever. Alright? And regardless of how much money you get, it still doesn't make you part of the black community anymore. And I doubt that any of these women feel a part of the black community, so they're not there. Most of them wear weaves, and see the one in the lower right. So basically, having said that, alright, technically that's what it is. Alright, so that's a bed wench. These are whores. The reason why I put this up is these are the 4 women, which among 13 other women were having sex with a inmate by the name of Tavon White. Well, what's significant about these 4 women is they were security guards that was supposed to watch over Tavon White. Now, as the whores that they are, they were helping him in a drug ring. And as the whores that they are, they brought in 6 children into this world whose mothers are whores and whose father was an inmate at the time, inmate drug dealer / murderer at the time all 4 of these women were sleeping with this one man. Now, apparently he was sleeping with a lot more women. It's just that these women decided to make babies from this man. So these are going to be 6 children that's coming into this world. Some are probably going to come in the world in an incarcerated situation. But you have 6 children coming into this world. And these women were pregnant at the time that they were being arrested. You have 6 children coming into this world with whores as mothers and a thug as a father. Understand this. The whores as mothers, the thugs as a father. Alright. Now, Proverbs 6:26. For by means of whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Now, understand this. The point I brought up about Omar Johnson, the stripper that you saw dancing, she was after his prestige. And she brought that man down who was trying to do great things. Alright. Now, what she does is she goes back to the stripper pole with the fame of having brought somebody down. Corinne Steffen did kind of the same thing. Corinne Steffen wrote a book called Superhead. She was on a show with J. Anthony Brown, the Tom Joyner Morning Show, and J. Anthony Brown referred to her as Superhead, which is the name she called herself, and now she's upset. But the money she made was off of being a whore. The woman from Scandal, what's her name? She played Pope, right? She got a BET Image Award for being a whore on TV and a bed wench. She sought the president because of power. As a black woman, she slept with him, falling in love with him, trying to get him from his wife. His wife knew. Alright. And this is one of the most popular shows among black women. Alright. So black women, something is wrong when a lot of black women are identifying with whoredom. Alright. And so basically, so you got Corinne Steffen. Can't remember the lady's name who played Olivia Pope, but somebody write down in the comment section, because it escapes me right now. But I know she won a BET Image Award for her portrayal of Vivian Pope, or Olivia Pope, excuse me. But understand this. What Scandal is about is a black woman who is having an affair with the president of the United States, trying to steal this white man from his white woman. Alright, she's a murderer, a liar, a cheater, a scandaler, a manipulator, outright witch, which the Almighty says should be killed and burned. But black women have elevated this character to the status of something to be emulated. Alright? Corinne Steffen, her name was Superhead. Alright, and you could figure, we all know the story, right? And she was trying to bring down all the people within the sports genre. What she's known for is sleeping with a bunch of men that were athletes and famous, and writing a book about her exploits. Alright? And she is one of the keynote speakers at Essence, which is also trash and garbage. Somebody just wrote in the comment section about another topic, top to CNN, Essence, and BET, and I don't think they realized, I know it was a black woman, that the white man owns Essence, BET, Ebony, Jet, TV One, everything black, that every form of black media that we had are now owned by white men. All right, and you're trying to tell me to trust what you think. What she said was 98% of black men are married to white women. That's what this woman said. That don't even look right in the street. Yes, there's been an uptake. All right, for your information, as of 2013, it went up to 24%. As of 2006, it was only maybe 5%, and it was always lower than that throughout history. Remember, until the 70s, late 70s, black men couldn't even look at a white woman. All right, so understand this. Whereas black women have always been bed wenches for white men, have been whores for white men. All right, all the way back since slavery. All right, now you say, well, this was slavery brought this in, but we're not slaves now. We can make a conscious decision, but the women are making the decision to, be whores. All right, and this is not all black women, because you got some stand-up sisters like the one I met and was having a conversation with, and then I have another one that subscribed to me, she's really cool. She has a son and a daughter, real cool. Alright, now she made some mistakes in her life, but horror wouldn't be one of them. Real cool. Alright, and so some women cannot be counted amongst the whores and the bed wenches. Alright, now Proverbs, I wanted to give people time to read these, which is why it take a while when I'm stopping on slides with scripture, right? Let me get down to Deuteronomy 23:17. There should be no more whores of the daughters of Israel, nor the sodomite of the sons of Israel. Now we're going up the stream to the source. The source for all that's going on in the black community falls upon the head of the black women for being whores and bed wenches. And this is how this go. A sodomite of the sons, sodomy, whether it's being done to a female or a male, is an abomination. A sodomite is one who enters in through the anus. Alright? Meaning that if a dude is going to do that to a female, he's going to do that to a male. It's an abomination if he does it to a female or a male. The Almighty did not intend for that. Alright, a lot of our children have been abused is because you have these single black, independent, argumentative black mothers that don't want to listen to nobody, that are the gatekeepers that are bringing the terrorists into the household through the simps and pimps and thugs. Alright, the black women are really badly out of shape. So the thug's going to get into the house by that black woman. He's going to look at that daughter that looked better than the mother and hit that daughter. Some of them are coming in, bringing stuff in that they got out of prison or off the streets, and they are doing what was done to them or what they were doing in prison to them sons. Now their sons are turning out jacked up. The woman is solely responsible for that. And the reason why she is responsible for that, because of her choice in men. Period. She's the one that chooses the man that she spreads her legs to and open her legs up to. She's the one that makes that choice. So the responsibility falls solely on the head of the woman for being the whore that the Bible says that she was not to be, or the bed wench. Alright, it says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. And what it's saying is the children are the oppressors, because the women rule over them. There is no man to straighten them out. And men, we need to bring back the strap and the rod. I promise you. We need to whip the Spirit of God back in these children. It's something that I recognize that I had to start doing. It's because it's gotten to the point where they are being subjected to the teachings of what they see in the women of these women on the outside by example. So we have to do something. I want everybody to read all of Ezekiel 23. All right, and I'm gonna get down and explain who these two sisters are. One sister is the northern kingdom. The other sister is the southern kingdom. All right, a black woman is not supposed to go outside her black man as far as those that follow the commandments. For people that don't follow the commandments, y'all do whatever the heck y'all want to do. But for those that are going to follow the commandments, a black woman is not supposed to go outside of a black man for a husband. And the reason being is who you choose to be your husband is who you choose to be the head of your house. If you choose a black man that is in the that follows the commandments, then that's what you're going to get. If you choose a white man, then you become a part of his world, his culture, his lies, his cheating, and you become a part of whatever punishment that him as a race is going to get for the stuff that he has brought upon the nation and the children of the Almighty that were over here as slaves. Alright, so as you link yourself up with that, you become a part of that. Alright, so basically, you have the two sisters. Man, I forgot to put the name of the other sister. But basically, you have the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right, the northern kingdom went off into the other races. The women went off with the men of the other races, and the Almighty was unhappy with that. The southern kingdom kept to themselves with them when their women went off into the other races. After the Almighty punished the northern kingdom by allowing them to be overtaken, the southern kingdom just doubled down on it. All right, and so basically, what Ezekiel is describing is the motivation for the whorish behavior of the black woman. The motivation is money. The motivation is prestige. The motivation is notoriety. All right, and so this is what's motivating black women. They're not looking at building a nation. They're not looking at building a family. They're not looking at raising the children with the husband. They are only looking for trinkets. They're looking for flash. They're looking for bling. The black women that qualifies as whores and bed wenches are selfish in nature. So much so that the Almighty has turned her over into that, and the Bible said it has caused her to go crazy. Insane. If you read Ezekiel, you will understand that the whores and the bed wenches, but especially the bed wenches. And what it is defining here in Ezekiel is primarily the bed wench, right? And the bed wench is a different kind of whore. She goes after men that are outside of the nation. She then become a spy and actively seeks to destroy the nation that she's in because her mind is totally turned over. Like, again, the stripper that was dancing at the beginning of the video, that's the one that took down Dr. Umar Johnson. So guess what? The school for them boys are going to be destroyed. I wonder why they didn't want a school for boys. They got school for girls. Maybe they wanted to keep the men weak. Make sure that no strong boys grow up. Food for thought. Alright? And we get out to Ezekiel 23 and 18. Ezekiel 23 and 18 is this. So she discovered her whoredom and discovered her nakedness. Then my mind was alienated from her. So this is the Almighty. That when the woman discovered her whoredom and nakedness, meaning that she discovered that she had a body, so she was going to use it to make money. And she is going to put more value in being a whore and a bed wench than she's going to be a husband to a good man. Alright? Then the Almighty said, then my mind was alienated from her, like as my mind was alienated from her sister. Alright, so basically judgment is about to come to the black woman. Alright, and it says that she doubled down, she was multiplied in her whoredom in the land of the slavery. So we are still slaves here in this land. We own nothing here. We all work for somebody. Even the white people are slaves. Everybody is working for the top 1%. So, basically, as men, we have to be careful of bringing a whore into the household. Alright? Now, understand there is a difference between a whore and a prostitute. These whores are doing this for free. Meaning this isn't a quid pro quo. Like, give me some sex, I'll give you money. You know, it isn't that. It's they will go to these white men or go outside their race to get with these guys for the prestige, for having children with good hair, as they say. Oh, we want something to be a little light-skinned. Alright? These are women that are sick in the head. And I'm waiting to see who's going to argue with this, to see who's sick in the head. Alright, but this is what God says. He said, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up thy lovers against thee. So he's going to raise up the white men to be against thee. So that's why you see the uptick in police brutality against the women. You see a lot of black women being killed by the white people and the white establishment, because everybody is going to go back to their own, right? Alright, and so basically what we have here is you're going to see this against thee, from whom thy mind is alienated. So you alienated your black men, and you're going to want the black men to take you back. He's not going to take you back. You have men going their own way. MGTOW. Men going their own way. They're saying, F you. We're not taking you back. You wanted to be independent and by yourself. You could do it by yourself, so stay by yourself. You wanted to go out there with the white men and put us up on child support and set us up in the courts, accuse us of for things we didn't do because you got mad at us. False rape charges, false molestation charges, having your children lie on men because you, out of anger and stuff, using the courts unjustly. No, they're not. Black men do not want you back. White men are no longer going to want you. Right now, it is another statistical fact that black women are become the most hated women on the face of the planet. They are seen in disgust. All right, and the sad part is there are a lot of good black women, but they're going to be painted with the same brush of the whores and the bed wenches, because the whores and the bed wenches, the damage they done is so immense that people are going to have to be wary of the lot. But for you good black women that got good black men, at least you got your protector. And you won't have to worry about the judgment that's about to befall these women. It says, for thus saith the Lord, I will deliver thee unto the hand of them who thou hatest, and unto the hand of them who thy mind is alienated. Okay? White men don't really love us, but black women are about to find out the hard way. There was a report about a woman whose children were drowning, and the white people did not open the door to save her or her. She had to make it on her own. She lost her she lost her children with good hair. See, she married a white man, went to a neighborhood. The flood happened. All right, and when up in New Jersey, the flood happened. She tried to hold on to her children. There was no man there to hold down her children, and there was no neighbor there to to help her. It's because they were all white neighbors. They had no ties to this black woman. She wasn't a neighbor. She was just a bed wench that a white man brought up to the neighborhood, made some children with, all right, and those children drowned. All right. Now, let me say this. All right. The end of this goes like this. 23 and 29, and they shall deal with thee hatefully. They meaning the white men or the men that are not of, all right, that's not black. But the men outside the black community that you went to will deal with thee hatefully, and shall take away all thy labor, and shall leave thee naked and bare. And the nakedness of thy whoredom shall be discovered, both thy lewdness and thy whoredom. And so this is what's going on. That the mentality of the black women is being strictly and put on display in the media. And for the black women that are complaining, we're tired of all these black men talking about black women and stuff, and we're just tired of it. Oh, get used to it. It's going to get worse. The black men are talking about what the news is putting out. And the black woman has become so disgusting that the news have a bevy of information to put out for people to make comments on. The people that are making comments, and they maybe have 2,000 views, 100, maybe 30 views. But the news media that put it out have millions of views. All right. Now, the black women don't want to listen to the black men, so the black men are just putting it out there to warn other black men. So black women, don't get it twisted. Don't think this is about you anymore. When it was about you, we were trying to warn you. Now we're trying to warn the black brothers that want to be good, so that they can recognize the nature of a whorish and bed wench woman versus the nature of a good and wholesome black woman. Okay? And to finish this out, it says, I will do these things unto thee because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen, and because thou art polluted with their idols. Ezekiel 23 and 46. For thus saith the Lord, I will bring a company upon them and give them to be removed and spoiled. And the company shall stone them with stones and dispatch them with swords, and they shall slay their sons and their daughters and burn up their houses with fire. Understand this. The white people stoning us, that's like putting that negative information out about us, alright, beating us, right, with nightsticks now. They're killing us with the guns. They're slaying the sons and daughters. Alright, so you got the woman that's hung mysteriously in jail. Just did a video about that. And they're burning down their houses, which they've been burning down houses with fire, but they're burning down the churches too. All the church arsons. Alright, what happened to the white guy that went and shot up the church? He was arrested. What happened to the dude that was running because he didn't want to pay child support to the black woman, or he didn't pay child support and he didn't want to go back to jail? Probably couldn't afford all the child support and back child support, and so he was running and he died. There's the difference. Black man gets shot to death from running to avoid going to jail for child support. White boy shoots up a bunch of black people and they arrest him. Alright? And he will have a place in jail because of what he's done. A place of honor. Alright? Ezekiel 23 and 48. Thus I will cause lewdness to cease out of the land, that all women may be taught not to do after your lewdness. And they shall recompense your lewdness upon you, and ye shall bear the sins of your idols, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. In other words, the Almighty has had enough. Your men has had enough, and for the black woman, it's time to stick a fork in you. You're done. If you want to be a whore, you're going to be left a whore. Like we said, MGTOW, men going their own way. You want to be a whore, you're going to be left a whore. Men are going to seek good women. Black men will seek good women. But for the majority of black women, they are going to be on their own. For the ones that argue, oh, I'm an independent black woman, I don't need no man to raise these children and stuff. Children will be your destroyer. And it'll be because you ruled over them. You didn't need no man. So understand this. It is about to get real for black women out there. And black women have forsaken the good black men for so long. So now all you're going to have is the men that hated you from the beginning. The thugs and simps and pimps never loved you. They hated you. You were a means to an end. So you're going to be stuck with them or the men that you decide to be a bed wench for. But the good men that would have protected you with their life, no. That's gone. And they're going to be gone. And don't cry over it. You didn't deserve it. The Almighty has turned your mind over. And that's it. For those that repent, you know, as the scriptures say, even if you started off in wickedness, if you repent and turn to righteousness, then you shall be counted as righteous. If you were righteous and turn to wicked, then you will be counted as wicked. Everybody still gets to choose who they want to be, either righteous or wicked. But whichever one you end up in, that's what you chose, and that's what you're going to be counted as. All right, so with that said, I'm out.